So this week I had my biggest epiphany about identity and authentic identity. And honestly, since then, I feel like everything that I work on, my book, my coursework, my client work, my content that I'm creating, is all just flowing so much better. And the epiphany is around what it truly means for your light to embrace your shadow. Now, I've heard this term before, and honestly, I thought I was doing it. So I'm curious to know how many of you are falling into this trap. So, about 8 years ago, I would say I was not connected to my emotions at all. My survival mechanism was such that I was constantly monitoring and censoring myself and aware and hyper vigilant about everyone else's feelings and what is happening and who is about to fire up on me just to keep myself safe. So for years, I never really spoke up about what was hurting me, my fears, my anger, nothing. I would just keep it in, and honestly, I was so disconnected from it, it didn't really bother me. And then, as I started going through my own healing journey and the process, what I started to realize was I was abandoning myself in many ways because I wasn't actually tuning into what I was truly feeling. And so at that point, that's when I bought myself this ring as a promise that I would no longer abandon myself. So I did really great, and I would really connect with myself, and I would check in, and if there was something wrong that was making me angry or sad or triggered or whatever, I learned to sit with that in the darkness, sit with it in solitude, and I was fine. I'm thinking, yes, I am letting my light embrace my shadow. But what I realized this week was that whenever I was allowing myself to be experienced by the world, the version they got of me was the high vibration, she's in a good place, she's balanced, and that's what you all got to see. You never got to see the struggle that I've been through, the things that hurt the most, the things that trigger me, the things that make me angry. And so what I realized this week was the more and more I do the work, and one of you left this comment in my last video, is that you end up having a lower tolerance for disrespect, and you start creating more boundaries. And it's not that you care about others any less. It's not that you have compassion for anyone else any less. It's more of an understanding of what your value is and what you are willing to be okay with and what you're not willing to be okay with. And if you are a people pleaser like I was, then what you will notice is that the more boundaries you create, the more inconvenient you become. And especially when you stick to your boundaries, it's really easy to say, oh, I'm not okay with this. And then you kind of slip right into it again, and you just continue to allow people to do whatever they're doing and treat you the same way. But when you really start sticking to it, you become very inconvenient. Oh, you've changed. Oh, this, oh, that. Oh, I'm not going to be loved anymore. Oh, I'm not worth it. Oh, I'm too much. And so what I realized this week is that by presenting only my high vibrational self to you. What I was doing is I was subconsciously telling myself that my darkness, and in this case, my shadow, my darkness could be anger, jealousy, frustration, is not okay. It's not acceptable. It is not allowed to be loved. So even though in isolation, I am witnessing my shadows, I am not allowing those shadows to be witnessed by the world. So they're still only a part of me that's being allowed to come out. So now what happens, now that I'm less tolerant, is I am allowing anger, frustration, etc. to express itself. But when it finally does express itself, it is coming out like an atomic bomb, because it's not just this one instance that I'm responding to. I am finally expressing and releasing 39 years of whatever I have pent up. So even though I've been sitting with it on my own for the last 7-8 years, it still was never allowed to fully express. So now when that comes out as a full explosion, it's like, well, wow, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. That was a really big explosion for like such a little thing. Well, you care too much, right? And it's like, of course I care, right? And so the importance of embracing your light and your shadow, I'm sorry, I'm sweating because it's really hot and I have the AC off, but the importance of having your light and your shadow is that present at all times, not just you're holding it and holding that space for yourself when you're healing on your own and in isolation, but you're present with that. All of it is invited to every party. What happens is people start to understand slowly what's okay, what's not, and adjust. And if it doesn't work for them, they leave. That's fine, right? But when you finally do express it, it doesn't come out as an explosion. And it's not like, well, you never said anything, like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this side or anything. It's not scary. It's not as big. And so for any of you who are Hindu or aware of the Ma Kali archetype, the dark goddess, this is essentially one of the main lessons that we can learn from her, is how do you embrace that darkness? It's not something to be feared. It's something to be witnessed. Because if you look at your life, there are so many points where the sadness, the anger, the frustration is actually what fueled you to make a change. It is what was your little motivation to make things happen when you just didn't think you had it in you anymore. And that is then what brought about the light. It is what took you, those tests that you have gone through, those experiences that you've gone through, are what developed you as an individual with the strength and the resilience and the wisdom that you now call the light. Unless you felt the dark and experienced the dark, you wouldn't be at the light, right? So that was my experience from this week. And honestly, as soon as I had this realization, there was a lot of things I was just kind of paused on, that I was like, something, it's just not sitting. I feel like I'm talking and it's just not sitting. And what I realized is that it's not sitting because I'm not allowing my whole self to come out. So for you people pleasers, for you people who are putting your boundaries down, for those of you who are taking care of yourself and, you're doing the work, but it's not making any movement, you're not seeing yourself move forward and shift and transmute the energy, this is one of probably the biggest things that I am noticing is really creating a shift for me in my own energy, in what I'm creating, is when I finally said, you know what? I'm no longer going to filter myself. All of this, the good, the bad, the ugly, it's all coming to play. And only then I'm realizing that people are reciprocating, they're resonating, I'm attracting the right type of people who are ready for me. And, it's amazing. And this is why I do the work I do, because I am looking, and every couple of weeks, I feel like I'm taking quantum leaps forward in my journey. But then I see others and I'm just like, why are you still stuck where we were like 6 months, 7 months last year, 7 years ago? And it's because when the breakdown is happening, a lot of this has to do with ego. A lot of this has to do with us trying to keep ourselves safe. We are judging ourselves before anyone else is allowed to judge us. And by doing that, we're not fully expressing. And that expression in the world where everything is AI, everything is automated, everything is sounding the same, everything is looking the same, your wisdom, your pain, your experiences, that is what's going to make you stand out. So even if you use AI to automate and make your workflows and things faster, it's when you fully understand how you got to where you are with the bad and the good, that's when really people will start to say, yes, you make sense to me. I want to work with you. Whether that's a partnership, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a business, it doesn't matter. It applies to everything. So try this for a week. Don't change yourself. Don't shift yourself based on the environment. Don't shift yourself like, oh, I'm in a professional environment. I'm in a meeting. I'm going to be this way. I'm at home with my family. I'm going to be this way. I'm at some community event. I'm going to be this other way. For 1 week, just bring all of it, everything that's going on with you, and see what happens. Sometimes we're like in the eye of the storm, and we're trying to keep it together. We're showing everyone we're strong. And if we're doing that, we're not allowing the space for other people to show up for us. And then we say, oh, no one shows up, so I have to do it anyway. Trust me, I've said this myself. But by doing it all, by always having it together, no one realizes that there is a gap for them to fill. That they can show up for you in a certain way, that there is a value that they have in your life. So, yeah, let me know. What do you think? Like, how have you experienced embracing your light and your shadow? And have you been doing what I have done up until this week, where I'm thinking, yes, I'm embracing my shadow, but only when I'm alone, and I'm not allowing anyone else to see it. I'm not allowing everyone else to experience my true fire.